Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Sunday night look-in. It's March, so March many weathers. And it's been many weathers this week. Oh dear!
Dancing on Ice is on.
Oh. I thought somebody had been murdered in the background.
No.
Right. Okay. So, good evening, everybody.
I'm so sorry.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've got a full list of lots of things to look at tonight. Just before I went live tonight, I had a ginormous catastrophe, and no doubt these other people behind me will tell you all about it. So let's introduce them, shall we? Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, all. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Sorry, Dave, about that. Dancing on Ice has just revealed who's won, and my wife was in hysterical. So I do apologise. That is the worst timing ever.
Yeah, you're mad.
I couldn't get to my mute mic button in time.
I actually thought somebody had been murdered.
Oh.
that could have been you.
Welcome to my household.
Yeah, welcome to me.
Okay, let's just do a few ground rules then before we start, and we'll do that from me. So obviously, if you're under the age of 14 and you're watching my stream, please do not comment, and I hope you've got permission to watch it. Generally speaking, my streams are for 14 years and over only, and it is marked as such. And obviously, in my program, when I'm building, I'm using knives and screwdrivers and sharp objects that obviously help me in my building. So obviously, and the things that mostly we're building are for over 14 years anyway. So, and secondly, there is a very nasty bug going around at the moment, and that very nasty bug is worldwide. Please do not mention it in the chat, and guys behind me, please do not mention it at all. YouTube don't like people mentioning that very nasty bug that's around, and obviously the news is full of it, and but we're not allowed to mention it. So please don't mention it in my chat, and please enjoy, like, and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you like what the evening we've got lined up for you. So enjoy.
Yeah.
So about that then, guys. So we've got obviously we've got over this way. We've got Dave Milne. So good evening, Dave.
Evening.
You all right?
Yeah, fine.
Jolly good. We've got down here. We've got Chris Davis. Are you all right?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yeah, and I just want to say one thing as well. Thanks to one of my subscribers. I'm actually using that mic tonight, and if you can, and I just want to say thank you for that. That's really awesome.
Okay, and then a bit further that way. No, that way.
Yeah, down by there.
We've got Max Mods. Now then, Matt, are you all right?
Yeah, good, thanks. Better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, very good. Let's fingers crossed for you anyway that you're going to be better from now on.
Yeah.
Now then, let's have a quick look at the chat while we're up and about. We've got the StreamYard connection there. So if you'd like to join us on stream, we're allowed 6 people on stream tonight. That's including me, of course. So if you want to join us, press the link and away you go. So we've got Royce the Boy. Hi, Dave. How's Royce the Boy?
Royce the Boy, how are you?
Hope you're keeping well. And have you done anything to that engine yet? Probably not, because obviously it's not the weather, really. So we've got P40F20. Good evening, all. Good evening,
P40.
Evening, P40F20.
And we've got JK Yang. Hi.
Who's that?
JK Yang 2017, 2019. I don't know who JK Yang is.
New subscriber, probably.
New subscriber, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Bear Wayne. Hello, Bear Wayne.
Wayne, how are you?
No, all
Hi
right.
there, Wayne.
And we've got Max Mods in there in the chat saying hello to everybody.
Hi, all.
And we've got Chris, my other half, saying hello to everybody.
Yeah, the one that keeps your toes, right, Dave?
Oh, she'll definitely keep me on my toes, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, so,
You need to after it, yeah.
I think I'm going to just give the screen to Max Mods for a minute because he's got something to say.
Hi all. I had a lovely surprise on Friday evening. Basically, I knock at the door, my son went to answer, and I had an Amazon package, which I thought, well, hang on, that's strange. I haven't ordered anything from Amazon. So I thought, right, okay. So I opened it up, and inside was a screwdriver set I had in my wish list on Amazon. That they're I'm not going to name them, but they're in the chat tonight, and I just want to say thank you so much. I was really shocked, really touched. I think I had a bit of a tear in my eye, really, because I'm new to this, and I just want to, I just couldn't believe that somebody had taken the time to look at my wish list and to get me something off it. So it means a lot. So thank you so much to that person. Words can't express how I feel about it. So thank you so much. I haven't used it yet because I've had a bit of a disaster with a video I did the other day, but I will definitely be using it tomorrow when I get my next video out. So thank you.
Okay, so let's go back there again, and I think you've got to thank you to do as well, haven't you, Chris Davis? So we'll put you on for a second. There you go.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Whoever bought, I know who bought this for me, but I can't disclose who it is. But thank you for the two people who bought me two things this week off my wish list. Right, it's been good. I was out Friday. I got back Friday. Right, walked through the door. I just seen an Amazon card pass through the door, and I thought, "What this could be like?" And went on my next door neighbours underneath. It's actually the mic which I put on my wish list, and I'm just so overwhelmed that I've got it, and I'm using it tonight. And whoever bought me the speaker stand as well, thank you for that as well. Because it helped me a lot.
Well, that's brilliant, Chris, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
And the mic, if anyone wants to know, is actually...
Wow, that's a big one, said Mary.
Yeah, that's what Dave says.
Right, so just shows what a lovely, lovely community this is. I too have received gifts this week, and I'm going to go through them bit by bit and tell you exactly what's what. I'll put my other camera on, and we'll have a look at them. I'm sure you're all waiting with bated breath to find out whether I've actually done it or not. With catching up to Christine's bus, but more about that later. All right. So I take it that you can all hear me all right, and you can see me all right. Everything jolly good, and you can hear and see everybody else. Okay, because obviously we want everybody to be heard and seen if we can.
Yeah, that's why using the mic. Yeah.
So now then, shall we have a look at a few bits and pieces, shall we? Let's have a look, see what we can do with the camera, and we'll see where we go from there. Well, yes.
You know the mic as well. This mic actually you can take it off the stand as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so you know.
Oh, just a minute, Chris. There you go then.
If it's it's like hang on. 2 seconds. See? It's like
wow. So you can walk around with it, can you?
Oh yeah, but it's not long enough for that, like. Mike, if I did have a USB extension, I could walk, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're in a bar and they're doing karaoke and Chris walks in with a microphone, evacuate.
No, I got my own mix of that.
Right then, you let me know when Jewel is available, Mark, please, because obviously I want to show something, because she was quite interested in a Lancaster bomber, wasn't she?
As far as I'm aware, she's available now.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you a little story first off. And I'll just get my magazine. And the little story is I had a friend called Brian, and a very good friend, and he was a Lancaster bomber flight engineer during World War II, and he actually did 47 ops across Germany, and in 1983 we both went into a newsagent to buy some cigarettes, in actual fact. And we passed the book stall, the shelf, and we glanced across and we saw this magazine. And of course, wow, what's that? Well, it is, of course, a Lancaster bomber in model form. Now, this magazine is, I don't know whether you can see the date there, you can pick the date out maybe at the top, May 1983.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said to myself, I am going to build one of them one of these days. Whatever I do, I am going to build one of them Lancaster bombers. I mean, that's the guy who built it. They call him Chris Girls. Now, Chris Girls, he pioneered a system of building this aeroplane with balsa, with plywood, and with foam, blue foam. Now, it's a special type of blue foam that comes in freezers, and you can actually shape this foam. You can drill it, you can screw it, you can glue it, and obviously he designed and pioneered this way of making model aeroplanes that were ever so light out of this foam, along with balsa wood and plywood to make them ever so strong. Now, this aeroplane is not in any scale, if that makes any sense. The scale is actually what they call cartoon scale. And cartoon scale, it means that it's in between scales. So it's not a 1/6 scale, it's not a 1/8 scale, it's somewhere in between. So obviously it's 90-inch wingspan. So that means tip to tip of the wings from one side to the other, that's 90 inches. So that's about 7 foot, isn't it? So, and then the fuselage is 5 feet long, is the fuselage. Anyway, I've had this magazine for quite some time. And I've actually got 2 of these magazines identical. And this one isn't the original one that I picked up from the newsagents. This is one off the internet that I actually bought. And it was called Radio Controlled Models and Electronics, and now it's called RCM&E. So it's still on the go, is this magazine, and they still do this sort of thing. You know, they still profile radio controlled model aeroplanes. Now, you might just have to give me a second, but in here is a full article of this Lancaster bomber. There we go. Right in the very center pages is a build diary. So obviously all in the writing and the write-up and everything is a complete build diary of how this guy went about building. Can you see the engine base and the fuel base and the wheel? Okay, and the plans. There's the proper plans for it. Look, they're in small scale, of course. And then he told us how he did all sorts of everything to this model aeroplane. He actually flew this model aeroplane himself. He built it and he flew it himself. And in this article, it actually tells you how he actually flew it and what it flew like. It's got obviously petrol engines, 4 of them, because obviously a Lancaster bomber has 4 engines. and all 4 engines work, and all flaps and all its flaps and everything all work, including its landing gear and the rudders and the undercarriages and everything else. And he tells you in this magazine how to build it. The only thing he doesn't give you in this magazine is the plans, which are there. And obviously that's only part of the plans. Hope you can see that all right. So that's only part of the plans. You have to buy the plans separately, and you have to buy the cockpit and the bomb aimer's window and everything else, all separately. So what I did, I set about over the years, and I've got a set of plans, a full set of plans, and I actually got them from Australia, and they're them exact plans. And I have all the canopies, which I bought all the canopies. You can still get them from this magazine company. And I bought all the engines, and I've bought the propellers, the fuel tanks, and most of the wood to actually build this aeroplane. And obviously I'm going to be doing it when I've got some time. And obviously you would like to see a little bit of something I have done, wouldn't you?
Dave.
Well, here we are, guys. Here is, and if I can get the camera to pan down there is the full fuselage of a Lancaster bomber, which is going to be eventually 90-inch wingspan. So obviously that's 5 feet long, and you can tell now how it's made. There's balsa in there, there's plywood in there, and then there's this blue foam. Can you see how it's attached to the outside and shaped? Because obviously you can sand it to a shape to get the exact shape of what you want of a Lancaster bomber. What you're actually seeing is towards the rear end, and not towards the front end as we come up this way. Let me turn it round.
Well, that corner,
And obviously, it's a massive piece. Once I turn it round, you'll be able to see there's like the iconic front shape of the where the bomb aimer's window will go and everything, and then the guns on there, and there'll be a bomb aimer's window underneath there, and a gun. And that I've purposely left this bit rough on here so you can see how this foam shapes down, and obviously it's going to be shaped to go over the nose of the Lancaster, and then of course this cutout here is where the wings will come across each side. So what do you think about that then, guys?
Awesome.
It's massive, isn't it?
Aye.
So that's going to be some aeroplane once it's done. I don't know where I'm going to keep it. I'm going to have to obviously disattach the wing.
You need a garage.
Yeah, it'll have to go in the garage, I think. Yeah, it'll have to go in the garage.
Have you got the skills to fly it?
No, I haven't got the skills to fly it. Definitely not. And I definitely will not be flying it. Can you see the undercarriage there? The under the belly? I don't know whether you can on this camera. So difficult to tilt it because obviously this is 5 feet long, guys. So obviously it's massive. So
that'd be a good one for the hobby show.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, it would, Mark. Yeah, exactly.
So when you build it, Dave, you'll be to start it up and warm it up, but that's far as you'll take it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I had a good friend of mine photocopy all the instructions out the magazine, so I wasn't actually ruining the magazine. And when I said, when I opened the show tonight, and I said we had a bit of a catastrophe, I actually opened a tin of beer, which I was going to sup, or should I say, just sip during tonight's show, and just relax with a tin of beer. And that tin of beer went all over that magazine I've just showed you. So I wasn't very happy. So yeah, this is the exact same thing again. It's probably a better picture actually. It just gives you an idea of exactly how big this monster is. So obviously 90-inch wingspan, and again that's all the instructions that are copied. The plans for it, guys, are 5 feet by 5 feet long. So the 5 feet wide by 5 feet long are the plans. They are massive. You wouldn't fit them on this gigantic table that we've got here. So, did you like that?
I mean, 1983. I mean, I've got some projects that have been ongoing for a while, but since 1983, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, I've got to get it done. I've got to get it done, Mark. I really have.
Yeah, I'm surprised Christine's saying, when are you going to get that Lancaster done?
Yeah, I can understand that. So, right, guys, I had an eBay purchase this week. I was very, very lucky in finding this. So this is, I hope you can see it all right. This is obviously a DVD. Well, it's actually a double DVD on Yorkshire buses, East Yorkshire buses to be exact. And obviously, it's an East Yorkshire bus that I'm doing. Yeah. So this is a rare copy, and it was actually made by a very, very good friend of mine, Mr. Malcolm King. So there he is in the titles there, Malcolm King. He also took all these photographs as well, including the front cover.
Yeah.
And it's Malcolm King, guys, who actually owned the chili beer Routemaster that Christine's doing. He owned the real Routemaster, the chili beer Routemaster, and he is a very good friend of mine. So I was very lucky to get it on eBay this week, and it was very cheap, and there's not many around. So I was really pleased about that. So that's a good part about my week.
Awesome.
Also, I've got a huge thank you to make to Gordy Brooker. Hope you're listening, Gordy. I hope you're watching because he's made me these. And obviously, they're blinds for my bus. And what an awesome guy he is, really. He's obviously been making these by hand, and he's made them on the computer and printed these off for me. And these are the exact blinds, apart from that one, of course. But these are the exact blinds that were on my Routemaster bus from Hull. And obviously, there's one. It says Hull Station, Holderness Road, East Park, Woodford Centre, Long Hill, service number 56. And so, obviously, that's going to be my Routemaster. I've taken a copy of this, Gordy, and I've had a play around with it, and we'll see a bit later on what I've done with it. Okay, so keep watching, mate. Keep watching. And thank you very much indeed for doing this. It means an awful lot. It really does. So, Gordy Brooker, thank you ever so much, mate.
Yeah, never left.
Is that on paper, Dave?
Pardon?
Is that on paper?
Yes, it's on paper, yeah.
Because wasn't the original, they were like a fabric, weren't they? It was printed on fabric.
Yeah, on these models, they're on like plastic. It's a strange material. I'm not really sure what the material is, but I know it's a strange material.
The only reason I say that is if you wanted to put them on fabric, if you can scan them into a computer and then you have a printer that will print reverse, you can get some paper that you actually can iron on to fabric, and then you'd have the fabric ones that would probably last longer.
Yeah, okay.
So,
was that a photocopy, Dave, or was that the originals?
No, that was the actually original that he sent me. This is the original that he sent me. This one.
That's nice. That looks cool.
Yeah, looks really cool, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean,
I'd copy that and then laminate it, so you've got a copy for any time, really.
I have copied it.
Yeah.
I have copied it already.
But the last thing you want is beer going all over that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have copied it already, Mark. So yeah.
Right.
I've actually got it in email form as well, so I'm not going to lose it.
At least you know yourself.
So let me quickly go through the chat before I move on, because I've got a lot more things to show you and thank you for. So let's have a look. I think it was here somewhere. Chris Davis says hi. Adrian Langley says hi. We'll add Adrian to the stream. Hi, Adrian.
Hello, Adrian.
Hi all.
How are you doing?
So and then we've got
Hi all.
we've got Yorkshire Crafter. Hi everyone. Hi Yorkshire Crafter.
Hi.
Watching your stream just before we went live, actually, me and Christine. So we've just asked Matt to check back on your audio, because your audio was cutting out. It could have been my internet, but just check your audio. Okay, so we've got oh come on, Marty McFly. Hi Marty, glad you've joined us tonight.
I can make a joke out that his name.
P4020, smashing. That's huge.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Certainly is huge, and it. Where am I going to put it when it's 19-inch wingspan? I don't know. I do know the P40 F20 that the wings will actually come apart. You know, they'll be in 3 sections, I believe. The 2 tip sections and then the centre section with the engines on. So it will be in 3 sections with the wings. So rise the boy, just a minute, rise the boy. So we've got evening, Dave, and everyone. Evening, Roy. Thanks for joining us, mate. Bear Wayne, that's a great plane. It will be a great plane when it gets finished. I've pretty much got everything to do it. It's just doing it. And you know, it's just finding the time to actually do it. So rise the boy, Dave. Was that Lancaster remote control? Yes, it was remote control. It's the Chris Gold's plan of 1983, and he organised it for all 4 engines to be remote control. He designed it, he flew it, and a lot of other people have copied it since. But, so I've got something today I want to send you. Okay, all right, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Have you got my address on file, or do you want me to send you my address? But thanks for that anyway, Roy. I appreciate anybody sending me anything like that. So, Chris, you wanted to say something?
Oh, you need the red and white for that plane now, so you can take off on it.
Well, I won't be flying it. My idea is I'm going to be showing it, and I'm going to be taking it to different shows when it's finished, of course, and I'll have it on a stand, and I'll be able to start each engine up and maybe run each engine, but it'll be anchored down to the stand, and I'll maybe run 4 engines for 20 seconds or so and then knock it on the head, because obviously I've put all this effort into it and a lot of money by the time it's finished, and I don't want to fly it and crash it on its maiden flight, because obviously I'm no good at flying, Chris. So I don't know the first thing about remote control planes, flying them. It is an art form, and you have to pass certain rules and regulations nowadays. So obviously I don't know anything about that, so I will not be flying it. So it's for display purposes only. What's it? Oh, hang on. I missed one there as well. So send me build and fly planes. Yeah, Rise the Boy he builds and flies planes. He has one or two in his collection. It's worthwhile logging onto his channel. So, Rise the Boy, check him out because obviously there's lawnmowers, engines, planes, a bit of all sorts of everything, and it's worthwhile checking him out. So, send me your address. Yeah, okay, thanks, Roy. I'll do that. And don't make it too heavy. Yeah, well, I'm not going to fly it, Roy. I'm not going to fly it, but yeah, I'm not going to make it too heavy. So, right, who wants to look at something else then?
Depends what you're doing.
Well, it won't be anything dirty.
I do.
Oh, Chris, shame.
It won't be anything dirty, Chris. I can.
At least Adrian doesn't look like he's in a horror movie.
You're from the dark side, Adrian. Whatever, yeah.
Right. Well, also, since we last talked on the internet, me and Christine have been very, very lucky in receiving a full subscription to build the Spitfire, and all I can do is I can thank you, whoever you may be, because you are anonymous and I don't know who you are to thank. So I can thank you for it, and I can say that we will build this to the best of our ability. We will treasure this as long as we live, and we will honour this in your thankfulness for actually sending it to us. So thank you ever so much, whoever you may be. It really, really is appreciated. Also, when this came, these are the first two issues, issue 1 and issue 2. And as you can see, they're unbuilt at the moment. We're going to gather about maybe 4 or 5, and then we're going to start building it. And both me and Christine are going to be building it together. It's going to be a together project because at the end of the day, it was bought for us together. So, unfortunately, what happened with this is that when it arrived, the tin sign that came with it was bent. Now, I did manage to straighten it a little bit, but I do believe that many other people's tin signs were bent.
That's Royal Mail.
Pardon?
That's Royal Mail for you. They use this.
Yeah, well, it could be. It could be, Chris.
Yeah.
Well,
or bad packaging.
Yeah. Anything. Yeah.
Packaging. Well, I'm ever so glad to say that actually we was actually donated one, and here it is, absolutely straight and perfect, by a Mr. Mike Anderson. So thank you, Mike. That's most appreciated. It will go on display with the Spitfire when we display the Spitfire and the buses together. We will display them, and we will put your sign that you have donated to us in a prominent place, and your name is already on the donations list anyway for what you did for the buses earlier on. So obviously, your name will go on the Spitfire one as well. So thank you ever so much, Mike. And if he's listening, if he's watching, put your channel on, and people can join your channel by all means, and see what you're up to, because obviously you're building an awful lot of things, and obviously if we can gain you a few subs, you're most welcome. So thank you, Mike. Wells of Mike Anderson, thank you ever so much.
Dave, you could make a tissue of that.
And while we're on about tin signs, we actually received another tin sign this week. And I am ever so grateful for this. I do believe this was on my wish list, and here it is. And if I can stop the white balance by just tilting the light, maybe.
Yeah, there we are.
There we are.
That is
So, yeah, a Routemaster bus. And obviously, that is going to bring us nicely into our next section a bit later on. So, whoever donated this to us, thank you ever so much, because obviously this will go on display with the buses as well. So thank you. It's very, very much appreciated. And my camera's just decided to go out of focus. So,
I'll tell you one thing, Dave. The amount of deliveries you're having, I bet the postman's not happy with your house. Not Dave's house again. Weigh me back down.
Yeah.
Let me just get rid of this camera for a minute, and we'll have another chat, and
Alex.
And then we'll see you back there. There we are. So
Alex.
Oh
no, sorry, I was thinking of something else. So.
oh, sorry. Was you talking to Alexa?
Alexa, back it off.
You might not know. You might not know.
Glad I've got my headphones when you said that.
you might not know, Adrian, but when we started the stream, just a few minutes before we started the stream, I went to open this tin of beer, and it's Black Sheep Ale actually, and it's the last one I have left after Christmas. And I thought, I'll have that tonight on stream. I'll treat myself. Anyway, I went to open it just like that, and it went everywhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, he tried to give all a drink. He tried to give all a drink.
And luckily, I don't think it's damaged anything. So how lucky is that? I mean, it smells like a brewery in here, but...
Pull us a pint, Dave.
I think I've worked out what happened about it, Dave. Right. What it found, well, it's called Black Sheep Ale, isn't it? So it probably saw Chris coming on the stream and ran a mile.
You don't back like a bracket light on fire.
Don't worry, Chris will get me back on Tuesday.
That's terrible. That is terrible, that.
That's not fair. It's going to make her all as well. She's like...
And then Chris is probably thinking, Black Sheep Ale? Why have I never heard of this?
Those would be the Black Sheep of the family.
Black Sheep of the family, yeah.
Yeah.
So Max Mods, I think I've mentioned this before, but I haven't mentioned it on my stream. Was on about painting the little screws. The little screws that we're going to get for the roof and everything, and for the strips along the side of the Routemaster. And I had a head scratching moment of how on earth am I going to do this? And Max Mods, he said, get some plasticine. He said, stick the screws in the plasticine, spray the screw heads. Job's a good one. So thanks for that. We've got some of these plasticine, and we'll do exactly as you say. So thanks for that.
Welcome.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, more than welcome, Dave.
And if anybody's got the screws already on the bus, just use a bit of the Tamiya red paint. It's X7, I think, and do some dry brush. Do some dry brushing over the top, and that'll take any screwdriver marks out.
Yeah. And I think, is it Humbrol Gloss 19, number 19, that does the same as well? I think it's Humbrol Gloss 19.
I know, I just looked for the Tamiya.
All right. So, just catch up on the chat, and then we'll get down to business, shall we?
Yeah, that sounds prominent, Dave. That sounds really get down to business.
So, boy, my dad used to be a conductor on London Transport number 9. Wow.
Awesome.
He would have been on RTs and things like that, and then the beginning of RMs, was he, and what have you. So David Bassett. Hi, David Bassett. Evening, Dave Stay, Chris Davis, Mike Mods, Adrian, and everyone else who is watching.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Martin McFly says, Dave, if you get a big tablespoon and use a bowl of the spoon using a seesaw motion with a tin plaque on the flat surface, you can easily roll out the dents. Yes. Yes, I've noticed that before. I have done a bit of panel work actually on real buses, and it's not been known to me before today to get a panel that I've needed to bend round the back corner of a bus and get it round the telegraph pole and go and push it round the telegraph pole to get the correct shape, and then get my knee into it and panel breaking hammer and things like that. So yeah. I would have thought that it would go back if we did do that sort of thing, but I'll certainly have a go at it. David Bassett, yes, it's Humbrol 19 red gloss for the RM.
Yeah, awesome.
And Royce the Boy says, yes, it was the late 60s and early 70s. Yeah, so he would have been into Routemasters and RTs and several other lovely buses in London. So, quickly then, guys, have you got anything to add tonight before we go on to other major things?
No.
Oh,
apart from I was looking on eBay earlier, you can get a Routemaster Haynes manual.
Yes.
Yes.
I've actually got one, Mark. I've actually got one, and they're a lovely manual. Excuse me. I'm just going to say I had problems painting the last fortnight or so with our Routemaster, and I'll just go full screen. There we go. So it was suggested by a paint company that I actually bought some of this, and they call it Plasticoat primer.
That's nice.
Now I was having problems spraying the plastic parts on the bus. I've had that problem for a long time. I've tried all sorts of primers. I've tried washing the parts. I've tried lightly sanding the parts to give it a key. I've tried everything, and every time I have had pretty bad results. I've had a lot of bad results where I've had to wipe it off and start again. And so this was recommended to me by a paint company in Hull, Plasticoat plastic primer, and it's in the red oxide colour. It's not picking it up very well in this light though. You can get it in grey, you can get it in white, you can get it in all sorts of colours, but it's the Plasticoat plastic primer, and I tell you what, it is fabulous. It does the trick. It does the trick wonderfully, and obviously that has helped me this week to get on top of the problem of can I catch up to Christine's bus. And if you remember on my last stream, Christine's bus was up to issue 97. Well, guys, it stayed at issue 97 as Christine's bus, thank goodness. And well, I'll let you have a look at mine and see where you think mine's up to in 1 second. Once I've changed my camera. So there we go. So here we are then, guys. Here's the buses. We're both together on the Lazy Susan. And let's just move that around a little. So there's Christine's bus. We'll move around there. And well, there is my bus.
Look at that nightmare where you're in.
There's my bus, look. So have I done it, guys? Have I done it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I am.
Yes. Yep.
Of course I have. I've caught up to Christine's bus.
Well
I'm
done,
on
Dave.
issue 97, and I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy how it's going. Of course, it's got the red on the roof, on the framework. It doesn't matter about that because it's not going to be seen.
Oh, no, fair enough. That looks nice, Dave.
Doesn't it?
It looks like a
So
sexy.
it is a sexy bus, Chris. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Of course it is.
Yeah, it's just still got you. You've still got the nightmare of the wiring to tidy up.
Yeah. Dave,
Yeah.
have you done the destination blind on yours? With the
Yeah.
new one?
You wait till it comes round and have a look. This one's Christine.
Yeah, you've just seen the destination blind.
I just missed it.
Can you see the little ones as well on the lazy Susan?
Oh, yeah.
And we'll leave this running a little bit because obviously I'd like people to see them. And as I said, the red on the roof, guys, don't worry about that at all because that's going to be covered up by roof panels. Nobody's going to see that red. And I'm not going to. Can you see the destination blind, Chris?
Oh, yeah, now I can. Yeah, that looks awesome.
On mine.
You got it lit up as well.
Pardon?
It looks like you got it lit up as well.
No, I haven't got it lit up. It's
that blue's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks nice. That does really. Dave,
I've got some mucky finger marks on them, but
So what blue is that, Dave?
what blue? That's EYMS Indigo Blue.
It does really make the bus stand out.
EYMS Indigo Blue, and then obviously the green on here. That's middle coach green.
that looks really good.
Some yellow, and then the normal standard London Transport red. Okay.
Wow, that's awesome. That looks amazing.
So yeah, we're up to issue 97 on them both, and yes, we've got the nightmare wiring, but everything works. I'm pleased to say.
Yeah.
We've got everything working. It's difficult to get in the camera, guys, as you well know.
I tell you what, once I've got my wiring done, and once we get this driver in, it's going to be fun getting to these switches.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, is you going to be sitting in the bus? So that's the thing I'm going to be curious about.
I think the only one I can't get to and get turned on is the driver's cab light.
Yeah.
I know it works. I just can't get my finger to the switch.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to stop it there, guys, and I'm going to explain a little bit something here. Here are the plastic parts around the window. You know them plastic parts around the window? They was very, very difficult to paint. Was one. Very difficult indeed. And you think, well, there are only plastic parts at the end of the day, but there was difficult. And of course, most of you guys are doing red ones, and you don't have to colour them at all. So, but yeah, I've sworn an awful lot this past month, I can tell you, because obviously I've been trying to get it right. And thank you, Lord, hallelujah, I have got it right, and I'm really pleased.
Have you sourced advertisement for the buses?
Advertisement, as
are you going to use what comes with the Routemaster?
I'm a bit undecided yet, Dave. I'm a bit undecided. I'm thinking that I might use what we get with the Routemasters. But yeah, I'm a bit undecided. Something I can think about at a later date. I've obviously got the East Yorkshire Girls decal for the side.
I was thinking, especially for the East Yorkshire, because as I say, you might be able to get something that was actually, some advertising that was actually specific to the East Yorkshire area.
Yeah, well, Thai fruit tea and cream crackers is what we're getting on the London one, and obviously,
I know Thai fruit tea thing is probably all over, but I look at some of my buses which are in Newcastle, and they'll have on shopping bins and OXO and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So it's deciding which way it's going to go now. Oh, it's going to go the other way now. So there we are. We'll give it another spin that way for a few rounds, and then we'll come back to the chat because I wanted to talk to you about several other things that's just popped up. I haven't put my rear mirror on, you know, for the just above the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Because we haven't got to the stage of fixing down the roof yet. Now, fixing down the roof is issue 103.
Yes.
And a lot of people have been saying that issue 103 should have been thought about more thoroughly. In actual fact, it should have been thought about an awful lot. Because they're telling you to fasten things down in issue 103 and get all the stanchions in the insides and everything, but they don't tell you about the people. Why don't they tell you that you've got your people, your figures in the upstairs? Obviously, still upstairs.
Up there, though.
So obviously, remember that, guys. Issue 103, if you're not there already, think about your figures and where you're going to put them upstairs. Because once you fasten down all that top roof, you're not going to be able to get them in.
Yeah.
Okay. So issue 103. And can anybody think of anything else while these two are going around like this?
The hobby show coming in.
I didn't put my side part. I didn't put the side bits on, the metal side bits.
Yeah.
I didn't put them on until 103, so I could get me poles in.
Yeah.
Made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, in actual fact,
no way I was going through them tiny windows.
Yeah.
And I've got you've got a pair of tweezers like what I've got. Them ones, lockable ones.
Yeah.
And I still wouldn't want to try them to go through them windows.
Yeah. So these sides are only held on by about 4 screws, I think it is, down the sides. So I can easily take them off. And it's the same on both buses, because we did think about that as well, Dave. You know, we thought that, you know, we'll take one side off and then we can place our figures and the stanchions, you know, the handrails where we want them.
Because I seen a video on YouTube that said you couldn't do it with the sides off because it wouldn't fit up. But you can't. I've done it no problem. I'm up to now 100. Well, I've just finished 107, so I've got my roof and all that, and everything's fitted together now. So, and I didn't have no problem taking the sides off and putting them back on once I'd fitted the roof.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything else to say?
Dave.
Yes.
Did I mention the new channel and the new the Facebook group?
We'll come to that later, Chris.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, we'll come to that later.
No, that looks amazing, to be honest. That looks impressive. That's it.
Well, I know there's a bit of tape sticking on them here, there, and everywhere, but that's just to weld the wires and things on.
Yeah.
The good old gaffer tape.
So
it's come off on that.
You shall be a bus. Have you sourced the little roses to go on there?
Yeah. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. We've got the roses to go on the side. I haven't actually shown you them tonight, but yes, we've got them. They came in the decal pack for the chili beer, and the only decals we're missing now is the legal lettering. And obviously, if you know something about buses, all buses have legal lettering. Just down there somewhere behind the front wheel, on the first panel there, they should have the managing director of the company and where the company is from. And obviously the Shillabere one is quite simple because that's London Transport that own that. And on my East Yorkshire one, it was actually a very nice person, which I know very personally, of Mr. Peter Chipp. He was the chairman and chief executive and managing director of East Yorkshire Motor Services Limited, of which that company no longer exists. He sold the company out last year, and it's now under the guise of East Yorkshire, which is a Go Northern company, Go North East.
Yeah.
Dave,
Yeah,
I think on the thing of the advertising, you've put this much time and effort into modifying your buses to be the way you and Christine want them. If you put the stickers that come with them, you're not going to be happy with that.
yeah.
I would source some proper stickers that were period and on them buses. Because why go to all this effort of the painting and everything to get them so accurate, but the advertising is not accurate?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Because
true, Mark. Yeah.
I would feel the same if I'd gone through so much effort of painting, sourcing paint, sourcing so much period detail. Then I would, if I put these stickers that come with it, I wouldn't be happy. I'd be wanting to put something that's, in there that's right.
I would be totally the same if I'd have been done. If Newcastle had the Routemasters, which they didn't, and I had painted it their colours, I would have been sourcing the advertising that was out then.
Yeah.
Well, what I can tell you guys is that we've got 23 weeks, is it, to decide that. We have all the copies of the magazines right up to the current one, which is 107.
Yeah.
And none of them so far are any panel work. They're all roof or other bits, So obviously, I've got lots and lots of time to decide. But what I will say to you is, I do know the people who can do that. I do know the person who can do that. And he is actually the guy who made me all the transfers for these. And but they come at a price. Obviously, they're not going to be very cheap. They do come at a price. And so obviously I'd have to look at them very carefully.
But I just think it'd be so worth it, Dave, because you put so much time into it, and the advertising is one of the things that's going to be showing quite predominantly on the buses.
Yeah, well, on the Shillabere one, Mark, there's actually going to be two rows roundels, one at the front panel and one at the back panel on each side, and they're both different than rose roundels, and so obviously the advertising panel would have to go in between them.
Yeah.
On this one, on the East Yorkshire one, the main advert that used to be on this side of the bus, on this type of bus in that era, was It's Best Buy bus.
Then that's what you go with.
So it's either It's Best Buy bus, but on the RMs, the adverts were slightly different. They used all sorts of beer adverts and McDonald's and things like that. So obviously, there was more up-to-date adverts because the RMs, the Routemasters in Hull, in the 1980s and 90s, obviously had to carry adverts that were in the 80s and 90s and not in the 60s, which is quite different.
It's a thing that getting it, obviously, like you said, it's going to be cost and getting it made up and stuff. But I'm sure if you talk to the people and you say, look, when I take these buses to show, I can give your company, a mention that these stickers were done by such and such.
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, we could do.
Give them that. That's free. That's free advertising for them.
We could do that certainly.
Yeah.
As I say, I don't know the guy who will make them, but they do come at a premium price, pretty much the same as the paint does, actually. So,
well, it's something you could say to him. Okay, we'll advertise you on the Routemaster group if you can give the Routemaster members, say, a 10% discount to have made up what they want made up.
Yeah, you could do.
And then give everybody a code, and then they can use the code, because that's what happened with the batteries for the R2D2.
Yes,
you know, they advertised this certain company on the R2D2 Facebook group, and because of that, they gave us a code where you could get money off if you bought them from them.
Yeah,
so
that's absolutely true. Yeah,
approach them, see what they say.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it's always worth talking to them.
Yeah, well, I actually know a couple of people that work for this company, East Yorkshire, that was East Yorkshire Motor Services, and I have been asked to display them somewhere, which I'll let you know later on in the year, and I may well ask them for some sponsorship as well, because obviously, you know, if I'm going to be displaying them to do with something that they're connected with, then obviously, you know, it'd be worth their while, surely.
Precisely.
So yeah, I will be in touch with them.
You see, the thing about it is, if people on the group start ordering from them, they're going to make more money anyway, even if it's at a certain 10% discount or something.
Yes, yeah, that's it. That's absolutely it, isn't it? So I'm just going to go full screen again and go. Gordy Brooker, if you're watching, here's your destination blind, and it fits a treat. Look at that, it's absolutely lovely. I'm over the moon, Gordy. Gordy Brooker, thank you ever so much for the destination blind. It worked out an absolute treat. Thank you. Gordy's also said that he's going to do me the back, the rear destination blinds as well. So, and obviously they'll be in the same vein as the front ones.
Yeah.
So let me go onto my camera and why won't you change my camera? Probably because I pressed the wrong button. I'm only human at the end of the day. So there we are, and I'll go full screen with everybody else. There we are, and we'll go back to the chat and we'll see what people in the chat has to say, if my voice holds out.
And that's about
so right. So okay. So I've got a Haynes manual for beekeeping. Rise the boy. They do Haynes manuals for everything, don't they? There's even a Haynes manual for men and a Haynes manual for women. So vice versa. So you buy a Haynes manual for a woman if you're a man, and you buy a Haynes manual for a man if you're a woman.
What do you want for women?
To understand each other.
You get to the first page of the woman one and just said, no, too complicated. Don't understand it.
Hey, I just went to Starghouse for the page 3 magazine, for the page 3.
David Bassett says, well, that's impressive. Thank you ever so much, David Bassett.
Yeah, it is phenomenal.
I am not throwing, as everybody keeps saying, I'm not throwing good money after bad here. I am going to try and make the best get that's possible. I am going to try and make these absolutely wonderful. And because obviously they're going to go on public display. I want the public to see them, and whatever criticism comes back from that, I will take on board. And I'm hoping that it's all good, and so far it has been. I'm my own critique, especially when it comes to painting and everything, because I like it nice. I like it looking nice. There's a couple of small places and very small places, and I'm talking smaller than your fingernail, little fingernail places that I ain't very happy with.
Yeah.
But it's not a big problem. It's not a big problem at all. So the buses look fantastic, Dave. Thanks, P40F20. They are taking an awful lot of doing, as you can understand. Patience is a key. Patience and time. Don't rush anything. Look at everything. Look at all angles. You know how much problems I've had with the plastic and then painting the plastic on various bits of plastic from day one, really. But I've solved that now, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
So Yorkshire Crafter, they both look fantastic. Thank you ever so much, Yorkshire Crafter. They are a labour of love, really, for me and Christine. And you know, we would like to do more if we could, but at the moment we can't. So because obviously these are taking up our time. So both look fantastic, Dave. Martin McFly, thanks, Martin. As I said, they are you know, they're our life at the moment, and you know, we really want to try and get them sorted as best we can. And if we can help anybody along the way as well, because obviously you've seen me on other streams, on other channels, and I suppose that's in a way that I relax, you know, when I'm talking to people and I help people along the way. It's sort of a relaxing thing away from the buses, you know, so you can walk away from them and go back to a problem if you've got a problem, or, you know, just calm your nerves before you start building again. I think I put in the Facebook group, the Routemaster Facebook group, that I first saw this come on the market I first saw this on the internet in 2015, so that's 5 years ago.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
And 5 years ago, it was not in production. It was in what they call pre-production, and they was thinking about making it, if they possibly could, into a park wax. And lo and behold, here we are with a park wax. And that's how long I've been following it, guys. You know, I first saw it, one picture on the internet, and I followed it, and as soon as it came out in the shops, that was it. I had to have it. So,
I bet you were queuing from midnight, Dave.
Well, more or less, yeah. So,
but you and Christine were camped outside W.H. Smith's.
Well, our local news agent, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bus enthusiasts jumped on it because it's just one of the kind.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing else being brought out, as you say, other than the Sunstar. Isn't it Sunstar that does a one?
Sunstar do the 1/24th scale, which is obviously a lot smaller than this. Because of course these are 1/12 scale, so they're massive compared to the Sunstar models. And I'm going to be doing a comparison between Sunstar and the Harshette one, and like the 176 ones. And
are the Sunstar ones like the 176 ready built, or do you build a Sunstar?
No,
is this the only kit form?
No, it's not the only kit form. Revel do the.
I know Revel do a kit form. I've had that one.
Yeah, Revel do a kit form, and then there's another one that's 172, I think, Dave. And I forget which company it comes from. But if you look on the internet, if you look on eBay, for instance, and you troll around Routemaster kits, you'll find it in there. It's an old kit, I think. Oh, we're missing Adrian. Okay.
But nothing of this size and sort of quality.
Nothing in this has nothing at all. The only thing that comes close to this was a Triang model that came as a built Triang bus in the 60s, and It was tin. It was a tin bus, and it was, in actual fact, it was a lot smaller than this. It was about 20 inches long, whereas this is 27.5 inches long. So it was 20 inches long. So it was a lot smaller, but that was the biggest you could get at the time. Was a Triang Routemaster, made especially for children of about 10 upwards, I would have said. So, and it was a tin toy, and as you pulled it along, it had like a little catch underneath, and it had a bell underneath, and it used to, as you pulled it along, it hit this bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 as you pulled it along on the string. But that was in the 1960s in tin, and of course, not many of them survived. So, there you go. So, oh God, where am I gone now? Right. Bear Wayne, both looking great. Thanks, Bear Wayne. I'm really, really pleased with them, and obviously Christine is as well. Use ads from the area. Yeah. The whole one, Roy. The whole one had various ads on. Because the whole one was around Hull in the 1980s and 90s, and they had things like McDonald's and various Carlin Lager and all that sort of thing. They had up-to-date adverts, I suppose, television sets on them, and all that malarkey. So I think I may go down that road, because at the end of the day, the Routemasters in Hull, as I remember them, had period 80s and 90s adverts on when me and my dad was riding around on them in Hull. And if it was any different, if I put 1960s adverts on it, it wouldn't look right, because it wasn't in Hull in the 1960s. It was in London. So obviously the Routemasters that came directly from London went to Hull, and they were stripped of everything and then painted in these colours. They had the 1980s and 90s adverts on. So yes, I think that's a good analogy to look at, is that I should really put 80s and 90s adverts on it.
So do you know how many Routemasters East Yorkshire picked up from London?
Yeah, yes I do. Yeah, there was 19 Routemasters from London, and they mostly came directly from London. Some of them came via other companies, only a very few, and some of them, most of them, came directly from London. And then there were strips of the red paint, and there was painted in East Yorkshire colours, and at Anlaby Road in Hull, or some of them was, and then some of them were in the garage waiting to go out on service, when I actually saw some of them in the garage before they actually went out on service. And I could not believe it. In the old East Yorkshire colours, because these colours, Dave, that used to be the old East Yorkshire colours when I was a kid. So obviously it was very special to me. So let me go back here. Where did we get that one from? Use ads from the area. Yeah, that's very good. I think I'll do that right.
Yeah.
So sorry, been busy. Hope everyone is okay. Fleetwood, hope you like looking at the buses. I hope you've seen them tonight, and let us know what you think about them. And as you know now, I have caught up to Christine. I was actually caught up to Christine this afternoon about 1 o'clock. And she's on issue 97, and I'm on issue 97 as well now. But we have all the issues now right up to 107, which was this last week. We're not going to do much more painting wise at the moment. I have got the next issue, I think, that we've got to do 98 is the bottom metal frame part on the near side, isn't it? Issue 100. Sorry, issue 98. So I think that's the next one we'll go to. So, evening, Jason, says David Bassett. Rise the Boy says BRB.
Be right back.
What's BRB?
Be right
back.
Yeah.
Be right back. Right.
I know
Okay,
what text I've done it before.
Alex Demetrius. Hi, Alex Demetrius. Thanks for joining us tonight. And he says, hi, Dave and course. I enjoyed tonight's chat. Well, I'm enjoying it too, Dave, Alex, because obviously, you know, without you guys coming along and commenting and looking at us, we wouldn't have a show, would we? So thank you for coming along. And a personal thank you to you, Alex. You have sent me some parts and bits and pieces, and some of them bits and pieces are going to go on our display. There's some engine parts in there, and the plan is that I want to build an engine up to go on display when these buses are finished, as little bits that we can pass around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's some spare engine parts in there, and I'm going to pass them around to various people when they go on display. But my plan is to put it in like a little case so that nobody can touch the finer bits of the engine, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've also got a big thank you to say to David Buckingham. David Buckingham, if you're watching, as you can tell, if you look back on the stream, both my buses now are on David Buckingham's bases, and it's with ginormous thanks to David Buckingham that we've actually got these bases now. He is an absolute craftsman in wood. He really is. He is a gentleman and a scholar, and I thank you very much, David Buckingham, for what you're doing. And let's go on a bit more. Roy is back. I actually didn't know. I didn't know, Roy, what BRB meant, but that's because I'm not used to texting.
Texting.
I'm not used to text speak.
Yeah.
Right. Alex Demetrius. Oh, come on. The chat's gone.
That's better. You are.
Alex, your buses are very impressive, Dave, and looking good so far. Say hi to Christine. I will do. Hi to Christine from Alex Demetrius. I think she's watching, Alex, so she'll get your message. Thank you. Where are my comments gone? Comments good, aren't they?
It's one, Dave.
I've missed one, yeah, I'm coming back to it. Barry Whitlock, both buses look amazing. The extra effort has made all the difference. Well done. Thank you ever so much, Barry. Yeah, it's definitely extra effort. It's time consuming, it's nail biting, it's expensive, and you know, but it is going to be worth it. It definitely is. I've said this before, but if my dear old departed dad was here today, he would be doing exactly what I'm doing, and you know, I'm doing this in his memory, really. So, you know, God bless you, Dad. I'm doing this for his memory.
Yeah.
Right. So, Werner Wayne. I have the Revel bus kit. Just need to get the paint. Yeah, it's the Tamiya X7, was it, Dave?
Yep.
And the Humbrol 19 gloss.
How much pie are you looking for?
With the paint that you would need. Either one of them would do it. It depends whether you're going to brush paint it, spray it, whether you're going to use a little sprayer or in a spray can or whatever.
And I think the staircase you need like something like it's like a purplish colour on the Revel kit. Is
that a crimson colour?
Yep.
I can't quite remember what colour it was.
I know it's different from the outside on the staircase.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was a crimsony colour, but somebody might tell us. Mr. Run again. Yorkshire Crafter. Christine inspired me to have a go at part wax and seeing all you guys wax first. Oh, so Mark. So Yorkshire Crafter's going to have a go at part wax. Yeah.
I don't think the bank balance can survive another part works.
Well,
Plus the fact she does. Wow.
There's a nice motorbike out there. She wants to do that. It's just getting advertised.
Darren Kendrow, both buses look brilliant, Dave. Thank you, Darren. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you know there's a long way to go yet, but I feel more inspired now, more inspired than ever. You know, now I've got these plastic parts cracked. I can, you know, crack on now and get something done. And I've actually been to Westerby's in the last week. Been really hard to try and get some paint. And believe it or not, Darren, Westerby's didn't know what EYMS indigo blue was. After all these years of them just being round the corner from EYMS, they didn't know what EYMS indigo blue was. So anyway, they do now because I've had some mixed up.
Yeah.
So Dave, I have a lot of parts for you, which will arrive soon to you in a big box. We'll message you when it's been sent. Thank you ever so much, Alex, and that's very much appreciated. Obviously, you know that I'm, you know, going to be taking care of them and using them, and you know, I'll use them to the best of my ability. And if I can, I'll make things up that I can show when we show the buses at display. And obviously, your name's gone on the list of thank yous that I will be displaying to the public. This list, I'll just explain this list. It's a list of people that have given to this display that I'm going to be displaying over the coming years with these buses. And it's not a list of what you've given, it's just your name on a list. And a big thank you to you, because obviously it would be unfair of me to say what you've given, but it would be fair of me to say a thank you to you because you have given to this project. So Yorkshire Crafter, I've seen the bike, it does look good. Oh.
Hey, if you're speeding on that now.
So Dave, I have to go bye now. So bye everybody. Bye,
Yeah,
bye.
right.
Take care now, and thanks for coming along, seeing us. Dave, don't forget to send me your address. Yes, I'll do that. Right, we've got it in the chat, so I'll see it in there. Thank you, and I think Christine's made a note of it anyway. So
yeah.
I wonder where Adrian's gone.
I think that's. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. Is Adrian? Hello, Adrian. So
hi. Well, you missed Dave. Chris David's comment basically. Where's Adrian gone?
Yeah, I did comment about you going.
I missed that.
Well, to tell you the truth, when you first came on earlier and you were in the car, honestly, I thought you'd been kidnapped and you were in the boot of a vehicle going somewhere. And then you just sort of disappeared.
No, it's dark. Don't forget, it's dark outside. You look out the window, it's dark.
The way it looked to us, honestly, was like you were in a horror movie or you'd been kidnapped in the back of a boot of a car. And then you disappear off here. I'm thinking, oh, God,
I basically altered the volume, basically created extra voice light. All I had was lighting from the phone, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it came on, we were all like, whoa, what's happened to Adrian?
Yeah, where's it gone? Yeah. Where's it gone?
Adrian, I've nearly sorted out your graphic. I wasn't very well yesterday, so I will get it sorted for you. I've just got to put sound to it now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from the dark side, anyway, Adrian.
From the dark side, is he? It was in the dark side, wasn't he?
Yeah, like with Darth Vader.
Right, so a comment was made earlier from Chris Davis about the hobby show. Well, the hobby show is going to be a new show. And obviously, we want all you guys to join the hobby show. The hobby show is going to be a YouTube channel and it's going to be a Facebook group. And in actual fact, the Facebook group is up and running, and the YouTube channel, you can join that as well. And there is a link in my description for the hobby show. And if you join the hobby show on the Facebook group, and then you find the link in the hobby show for the YouTube channel, now that's going to take place is the YouTube channel when the Wednesday Routemaster show finishes, roughly in September.
Yeah.
So September this year, obviously, and the idea is that we can keep a Wednesday night show going with a show called the Hobby Show. Now, if you're still doing the Routemaster, you are welcome. If you're collecting model cars, you're welcome. If you're doing any painting, you're welcome. If you're doing some sewing, some knitting, or some handicraft, you are welcome. If you're baking, or if you're doing some gardening, or if you're growing plants, as long as they're legal plants, of course.
I like the way you went that. You went that way quick.
If you're into collecting different sorts of teas, or you're into shopping, and you want to show us what you get in your shopping. If it's a hobby that you do, then we want to see you on our channel. We want you involved. So obviously, all you in the chat there, you're all welcome. Pop along to the hobby show. If you've got another project, if you're doing another bus, for instance, or another part works, or a car, or a Millennium Falcon, or whatever, bring that along to the hobby show. If it's sci-fi, bring it along to the hobby show. If you collect shoes and handbags, if you're a woman, fetch that along to the hobby show. If it's a hobby, then it's welcome. So obviously, guys, that's why it's called the hobby show. It's not all going to be old men sat around gabbling about spanners and oily rags. It's going to be everybody and everything to do with hobbies. So obviously we want you involved, and obviously we're going to be, we're going to be on our best behaviour. So there'll be no swearing or carrying on like that. Be nice, clean family show, because obviously most hobbies are good, clean family. So obviously we want to keep it that way if we can, and we want to see your hobbies. If you're collecting matchboxes or beer mats, that might seem uninteresting to some people, but to us, it's interesting. It's a hobby. If you're building them matchstick models, and you're putting matchsticks together and making a windmill, we want to see it. So bring it along, guys. Bring it along. Join the hobby show. And as I say, in my description, in this link here, and you get to the description by the little upturned triangle, you can then join, find the hobby show where it says the hobby show, click on that, and then you can join the hobby show Facebook group. Okay.
I know.
Yes, Chris, keep it clean.
Yes, yes, please.
You know what Chris's is going to be? My hobby is walking to the off license every night.
I know what Dave's hobby is.
There you go.
If we wanted them instead.
There's a lot of people in this community that's doing like the Terminator, they're doing the F40 Ferrari, they're doing the Bismarck, they're doing all sorts of different part work.
Yeah.
And they all have other hobbies besides. Behind me is a cabinet full of model buses. It's a hobby. I'm into family history. That's a hobby. Fetch it along to the hobby show. And I think we've got a link in the chat as well for the hobby show. So there we are. We've got a link in the chat.
Hey, Dave. I know your hobby is.
What's that?
Collecting all these frocks.
Collecting all my frocks.
Yeah.
Dave, he's only jealous you've got more than he has.
There's only something best, that is.
I can tell you a little story, Chris. I can tell you all a little story. I was heavily into charities at one time when I was fit and young. And I pulled a bus along with a load of other guys around the town of Goole. I pulled the bus in a tutu with a bra, with onions in my bra, with a toilet brush for a wand, and a little top on in a tutu. And I pulled the bus along with a lot of other guys. About 33 years ago, I pulled the bus around Goole for charity, looking like that, Chris.
I've done the same with a wagon.
And I bet that day, that was the only bus that ran on time.
Yeah.
I've done the same with a wagon years ago. Pulled a wagon around.
Did you really, Dave?
Yeah, for a charity.
Yeah. It's good fun, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, guys. You would think that the road is flat, wouldn't you? But when you're pulling something like that around, with a load of other guys, it's surprising what little humps you found in the road. Yeah, it might look flat, but oh no, it's not.
Where you come from, David, it's flat. If you come to West Yorkshire, it's not flat.
Yeah,
I was a driving instructor, and this young student contacted me and said, "I passed my test, but I need lessons." I'm like, "Why do you need lessons?" I passed my test in Hull. There's no hills in Hull.
no.
And she did not know how to drive up hills or to set off. It was crazy. But yeah, there's no hills in Hull. So when I came over here, I was like, I've never seen a hill before.
Yeah, you got all potholes on there.
Yeah, come to Newcastle to Chile.
Yeah.
Newcastle Tilly, yeah, it can be in places.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I've said this before about potholes. You see a pothole in the road, the best thing is when they've got the old cobbled road underneath, and that is still okay, but yet the modern equivalent's not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That's the kind of saying they don't make it like they used to.
Yeah.
Nothing's built to last now.
No.
We live in a throwaway society.
Council of Leeds.
We live in a throwaway society.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just moving.
If the Queen or a royal member was to visit your town, they'd actually fill in any potholes that were on their route in and out.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to witness bad roads, which is stupid.
Yep, and they paid the grass as well.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. My son was telling us when he was at school that they had a royal visit and they had to go out and paint the grass.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, everything had to be spotless without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, exactly. What Mark's about to.
Right. Okay, I'm going to show you something else in a minute, guys.
Okay.
You put your son as a fox now with him. I'm joking.
No. No, I'm not showing anybody them.
Yeah.
No, what I'm going to show you is this. Okay. So at the front of these buses, these have actually got the old style fronts, and the old style fronts on these buses have no diamond or triangle AEC badge.
Oh yeah.
And they also have these holes here and at this side. Now they're air vents for the brakes, are them, at the front of the bus. And they was on old style buses, the 1950s buses. But I'm going to alter these. I'm going to alter mine. And I'm going to alter Christine's. And I'm going to use this. If I can get it in camera shot.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
They are the AC badges. Okay.
Cool.
Get them in focus. I don't know whether my camera will focus.
Yeah, they are in focus, yes. As far as I can.
If you put your hand behind it, it'll focus even better.
Yeah,
it's taking too much focus out of it, isn't it?
Oh, that's better.
It's not picking it up, is it?
Yeah,
Dave.
we can see what though.
Yeah, we can roughly make it out.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, now they are.
They actually say London Transport in the centre. Now you'd think that, and of course that triangle goes exactly there, just there, where the AEC badge went. Now London Transport altered these. If I'll pick it up now. Altered these to have London Transport on them, right in the centre, across the centre, instead of AEC. And when these East Yorkshire Routemasters came to Hull, there was about 3 of them that had the London Transport AEC badge still on them there, instead of the normal AEC badges. So I am going to put AEC London Transport badge on this one, and I'm going to do it on Christine's as well. So, and then I'm going to fill up these vents here to make them look like a newer Routemaster. Because in actual fact, Christine's is a newer Routemaster. Christine's Routemaster is RM 2208. So that's 2,208 Routemaster. And it was built in 1965 because it's a C registered vehicle. So obviously that would have had the filled in vents here with it being 1965. But these underwent a facelift, and some of these were filled in at the front, and they still had the AEC badge on there instead of the roundel that 857 has. So obviously I want to change the identities totally so that they're totally different. Okay, and then obviously you do know that we've obviously altered the registration number of them already, because WLT 871 was 803 in the fleet of East Yorkshire. So I wanted to tell you that bit of news, and I think that's about all I've got to tell you, unless you guys can think of anything else you want to talk about.
Well, let's go for a pint, Dave.
I've already got one.
Yeah.
I've already got one. So,
he tried sharing it, but it didn't work.
No, I know, wasn't it?
Yeah, I tried sharing, but it went all over the damn place.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, Dave. You must snore in bed on a night, because sometimes you can hear you snoring while you're awake.
I've got a touch of cold at the moment, but it's better.
Yeah.
So long as that's all it is, Dave.
As long as not something else.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get you one of these in focus. How nice and neat these AEC badges are, or should I say London Transport badges.
I know what you mean.
Let me put me on full screen a minute and see if this camera will pick it up. And see. I don't think it will. It's got white balance on it. So
Oh, there we are.
Let me try and get it in the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
nice.
can see London Transport across the centre, can't you?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
difficult to get into focus. But that's
Well,
what
that's
I'm
when
going to be using.
It wasn't that when they all went under one name. So, because the underground was run by 2 companies, wasn't it? And everything. So the government decided to put it all under one name, which was London Transport, and have the same emblem for everything.
Well, that was well before the Routemaster came out. Yeah, well before the Routemaster came out. But them AEC badges was actually donated to me by a person that doesn't want naming, and I've got grateful thanks to him for doing them for me. And all I'm going to do is make a little piece of aluminium in the shape of a triangle, just a little bit bigger than that, and then stick it to the front grille, and then get another front grille and put a strip down the centre from a spare front grille. You know, the silver bit that goes on it now. I'm going to use that silver, and then it'll make it look more accurate then. So let's go on to everybody else, because obviously.
So I take it be using Christine's magnifying glass again.
I'll be using
You
that.
enjoy that, Dave? No.
I've got that somewhere on the table here under all this lot.
Yeah.
Maybe full of maybe.
What do you? Nothing else.
I have a one that goes over my head with a set of glasses, different sizes.
Yeah.
So yes, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, and my lovely wife has just reminded me that is twice something's gone all over me like that this week. This beer tonight, and we was in the car. I was actually at hospital this week, and coming back from hospital, I said to Chris, I said, I really am thirsty. I want a drink. So she said, right, we'll pop into Lidl and we'll get a few bits out of Lidl and we'll get a drink. And so going round Lidl, I saw this nice cherry drink, sparkling cherry drink in a plastic bottle.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, oh, that looks nice. It's, you know, low in sugar and everything else. Anyway, we get back in the car after we did a bit of shopping and just about to set off. And I thought, oh, I'll open this bottle. And I opened this bottle and it went all over my lap, all over the gear stick and the steering wheel and everything. Oh, my God. Anyway, we're quickly trying to mop it up. And I eventually took a little drink of this drink. Anyway, I put the top back on and I give it back to Chris. And she said, oh, I'll have a drink. So she opened the top. But I'd set off then, and we was waiting at some traffic lights. And just as I set off from the traffic light, she got it up to her mouth like that.
Yeah.
And she felt the car go. Well, as she felt the car go like that, she nipped the bottle, and it was one of them real flimsy bottles. So as she nipped the bottle like that, it all gushed out the top again. It went all over there.
Yeah.
So that's twice it's happened to us this week.
Hey, Dave, lucky it wasn't something else that you wet yourself with.
Well, I actually did, Chris, when it went over me the first time. It went everywhere.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is stop buying fizzy drinks.
Yep.
Stick to tea, Dave. It's much safer.
Yep.
Yeah.
A bit like if you cut your finger while cutting cheese, go back to Dairy. It's a much safer cheese.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I do say things happen in threes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me then Christine with the cherry drink, and then tonight. So my table here smells of beer. Terrible. It really does. And the trousers do too.
Oh, don't worry, we'll send Chris round to lick it up.
It's all me right now, isn't it?
Does Chris do you like your beer, Chris? Do you?
I drink lagers.
Lagers, dear.
Yeah. I drink a Carling sometimes, or Foster's, or Carlsberg, or Coke. But because and Coke I drink as well. I got a bottle of that for Christmas. What?
I think you must have all heard me when I was shouting and what have you when I opened that tin. So it took me really by surprise. It just went.
We nearly heard Dave swear.
Really did, yeah.
You should put your paper on it there to keep it dry, then.
And then we thought, well, it can't. If it had gone over buses, he would have been inconsolable.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, thankfully, there's a good 2 feet between where it happened and where the buses are. It's on the same table, but they are a good 2 feet away. In fact, I've got mine out now, and I'm not touching them. So
just look, you didn't go on your laptop.
Yeah, come very close to it. Very close. Yeah.
Well, if it had got inside the buses, Dave, you could have just said, right, well, I'm modelling it on a Saturday night Routemaster.
Yeah.
Right then, so I think we, unless anybody wants to see anything else, I think the last comment in the chat was the hobby show. Hi guys to the hobby show. So there we are. There's the hobby show. As I said, it's in the link in the description below. I've tried to include everything. I've included the Routemaster group. I've included the hobby shirt, and I've included something else, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's probably my wish list. But
no, you haven't gone on about your wish list, Dave.
No, I won't go on about my wish list. So
He's all about singing and dancing ears.
I'm not going to go singing and dancing. No.
Have a karaoke. Yeah.
Have a karaoke. It'd be you that's having a karaoke, I would have thought.
Yeah. Once I get started, I will be. Once I want to do it in the pubs full time. I want to do it on Saturday night if I can. Or on
the karaoke show with Chris.
Yeah,
that'd be good, wouldn't it?
I got a group started with that as well. If people want to join it.
That's Chris's hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, as I'm for this area, like if anyone's interested, me to invite them to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris's favourite film is. Sorry, go on.
You what?
I was just about to say Chris's favourite film is Shaun the Sheep. Sorry, you know I'm joking, Chris.
Yeah, no, that. I get you back every little essay. Star.
No, because you're probably going to make my life hell on Tuesday. What are you doing on Tuesday, Chris? Because the next issue is just a figurine, isn't it?
I haven't got nothing to do at the minute. I'm still waiting for my replacement parts, so it might not be nothing happening Tuesday now.
Are you not doing a jag anymore?
I am doing it. I'm just going to wait until concentrate on the bus for a bit. So I'll be doing the bus more on my channel instead for now.
So you're doing a live? Are you going to do a live on Tuesday then, Chris?
As it stands, until I get them replacement parts, probably not.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm waiting for parts from Harshetse to replace the circuit board and battery box.
Yeah.
Well, you could do a little bit of if you still want to go on, obviously to keep your viewers happy, you could do like a short, thing of your flat that you live in and where your workspace is and what you use camera-wise and stuff. I mean, I know you'd have to make sure you put the explicit things out the way, but...
I'm gonna forget you one day, don't bark.
I'm glad I'm 4 hours away.
I just get some red bullet beer, right? I just get some wings and fly over. That'll do.
No, but honestly, Chris, I did a video for the Hobby Show Facebook group, just a thing of my my room that I do my models in, and how a video. And some people do find that interesting, especially people are starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could do something like that. You know, you don't have to do 2 hours. You could do an hour and just say, right, I'm going to show you around my flat. You know, I'm going to show you where I work, if I use for recording to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
A bit like, yeah, and then you can show the bus and show them how far you've got so far. You can show them the Jag and, you know, how far you've got. Yeah. You can also show the things that's been given to you, you know, gifted to you through your wish list. Yeah. So all that you can do that will keep your viewers happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, no, I always do some X-rated stuff after 9 o'clock. No, I'm joking.
Count me out then.
What?
You can count me out then.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah, I'm joking. It's all right.
One thing I'd like to say is, I think a big thank you to our host tonight, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave has been an absolute legend lately, and I don't know how he's managed to do it, but he's been in a lot, and I mean a lot of live streams. He's been on Chris Davies' live stream. Yeah. Obviously, he's in the Routemaster on a Wednesday. He's been in Adrian's. He has been in a lot of live streams lately. And he really is. I mean, sometimes he'll say, I'm just coming on for a bit. And then, you know what I mean? Because I've got things to do. 2 hours later, he's still there and he's still helping us out. And I think, Dave, you're an absolute legend in what you do on the, you know, on these lives. You come on, and I'm new to this, but you come on and you help out and you take out of your time, yours and Christine's time on an evening, to come and help people that need help. And I'd just like to say, from me and hopefully anybody else, thank you, Dave, because the last couple of weeks you've been so busy, so busy, but you come on with your usual thing, and I just think, you know, hats off to you. You really are credit. And the person who's got the Spitfire for you, you really, really deserve that, both you and Christine. Yeah, so I'm going to say that.
Like
second that as well. But I'm going to, Dave says he's been left a little gem, and what he does on his channel is brilliant. And them buses are looking, and Dave say you've got to pat yourself on the back, because what you do for everyone else is unbelievable.
Thank you ever so much.
Yeah, Dave, you're like a father to us all. You really are.
Well, thank you ever so much for that as well. And I've got to say at this point that YouTube, you don't know this, but YouTube has helped me out, not just by people buying me things, which is very, very nice and very much appreciated. But it's helped me out in other ways that I won't mention at the moment. You know, it's given me self-confidence. It's given me a new opening in life, and it's given me something to look forward to, other than something not to look forward to. And it's given me, with the buses especially, it's given me something that I can a goal to work towards, you know, something that is going to be brilliant at the end of the day, something that is going to fulfill something that I've been looking for a long, long time. And it's my pleasure to help you out if I can. I'm not saying that I will be there all the time, and there will be plenty of times that I'm not going to be there, but you know, we've got you started now, you know, we've got you up and running, which is brilliant, because obviously you're another one to the community, and you know, I've got the early people to thank for giving me the encouragement. You know, Horlicks, for instance, you know, Horlicks,
he's a legend.
He was a legend. He is a legend, and
he is a legend.
Penny as well.
Penny, she's a legend.
Yeah.
And you know, Mike Anderson, Wells of Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson, he's a legend. You know, he helped me. And, you know, the various early people. Adrian, down here, you know, you're a legend. You helped me enormously. And what goes around comes around, really. And I like to try and share as much as I can in the community. I don't have a lot of money to spend, and you know, so obviously I give my time freely, and if I can help somebody out, I will do. Like you, Mark, just a typical Yorkshireman, you know. We're tight with us money, but we've got big hearts, haven't we?
Yeah,
so
we have.
And
I'll help anybody out. But you see, if it wasn't for this man down here,
yeah,
Does that mean?
and I know I've taken the mick out of him, and he does the same with me.
Hey, don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all good.
I found this community. I was watching a YouTuber, Chris Camplin, on his X-Wing build, and this bloke below me was on it, and he said, "Oh, come into my live tomorrow night." And now he actually introduced me to everybody in the Routemaster group.
yeah,
And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
yeah.
And yeah, I take the mick out of him, but he knows I'm only laughing. He rings me up about 4 times a day. You all right? What's up, Chris? Nothing. I just thought I'd chat to you. Okay.
Oh, well, then I've got that thing going on with you, Mark. And
Well, I just thought I'd ring you because I'm on my way to Tesco's. Okay. So, but then I met Dave through Chris, and Dave welcomed me into the group, and he welcomed me into this community of people, and I've never looked back. And I don't class you guys as my friends. I class you guys as my family, you know. And family means more than friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've got to say, if it wasn't for Dave, I don't think I would have had the guts to come on here. I don't do a live build yet. In the future, I might. We'll get to the wheel a lot for that. But I think it was my first time I came on was when Dave done his Sunday show. And I've now I'm able to come on and give Adrian a hand, you know, which my little bit into the community. And as I say, I see you as all as family now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started like that. I was just doing Mondays with Chris Camplin, and then Chris said, are you free Tuesdays to help Chris Davies off? I said, yeah, of course I am. You know, I can go through instructions with him. And then Fleetwood was there saying, you know, come on to the Routemaster group, and then Adrian was inviting me to help with his tank and whatnot, and it just went completely and utterly crazy, and I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. You know, it's like being with family for a couple of hours on an evening.
Yeah, you see, me and Fleetwood J, I mean, we're like family, we're like brothers, and you know, he's been very, very, very good to me as Fleetwood J. He's such a gentleman. He really is. He's been very supportive in more than just supplying things for these Routemasters. You know, he's been like a hand around my shoulder, you know, giving me a hug now and again, you know, when I've needed it, and a friendly ear for advice. And, you know, I don't know where I would be without him sometimes, because obviously, you know, he's been very supportive. And the community as a whole is just wonderful. You know, Chris, we have a laugh with Chris down here, don't we? And, you know, we get on real well. And the other Chris as well, he's a laugh, you know.
He's Chris Camplin, me and him in the room together. Bloody hell, I don't know why you used that. Where we would be then?
I mean, you wouldn't want any KP nuts if you went there, because there's 2 nuts there that, you know, they are nutty and they gel together, like, don't they? So
we're just going great, and that means a lot as well, because I started out nervous as well when I done YouTube Live, and that was really hard. But look at my channel now. I was like on a few subscribers. Now I'm on about 55.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right, Mark is a legend as well, because I get on me. I know with him have jokes and all that. Yeah, that's the banter, and that's what. And Dave's been a legend as well, and Dave, Adrian as well has been awesome as well, because what he does enough for everyone on the Wednesday and doing a magazine for people, scanning them.
Yeah.
I cannot thank him enough for that.
Yeah.
And it's been really good, because I've had a couple of bad views myself, but I try and ask what. And then when I'm doing things on a Monday with other people like me, for instance, disabilities, that's making me make new friends as well.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, then say I'm volunteer for doing gardening, and that's what I enjoy. Friday, we play skittles down the local pub, like down workies, but we don't drink like. But from the morning and doing you guys, and I don't mean that in naughty, like, having you guys on as well is making a good communities for everyone else, because people are lost without the internet, because sometimes you can't do anything. It's, for instance, right, if you're stuck, you can't go out or anything. The internet is there for people that get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what YouTube is all about.
Yeah.
You can make friends. Yeah.
I think, Chris, the way me and you are together is I've been trained with people with your issues or problems.
Yeah.
So I can completely understand exactly how you think. Well, sometimes I haven't got a clue how you're thinking, how your brain works, but
I know what you mean.
In normal reality,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
I can. And
so
seriousness.
So, Mark, are you worked in the disabled community? Have you?
Well, at 11, my mum was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, so I grew up with that. Obviously, helping her, having the patience, and then I lived in a hostel with people with supported needs as well. So it's kind of been around me all my life. So I've understood it better. And then I trained as a scout leader as well. And we work with people with learning difficulties and stuff like that. So I've got quite a lot of experience in that area. Also being a driving instructor, I've got some massive patience as well.
Yeah, it's one of the things, because as I say, I'm a support worker, and you've got to have a lot of patience in this job.
Yeah,
and as I say, I've got children with disabilities, so I'm used to bringing it. Well, they're not children anymore; they're young adults now.
Yeah,
as my wife's just corrected us.
So Dave, what I use a lot with Chris is what you call the feedback hot dog, Dave, which you'll know of. So you start with a positive.
Yeah.
You then go in with the negative, this and this and this, but then you end on a positive.
Yeah.
And that's what they call the feedback hot dog.
Yeah.
And it works every time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I think that's how Chris has been, he's been able to, and I think a lot of it on Chris's part is trust as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course.
Isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
Look, when the swing closes, I'll tell you a little bit more after.
Yeah.
Because there's so much personal stuff has happened, I can't really disclose it on YouTube.
Yeah, well, let me end this on a high more than anything else.
Yeah, I know.
We are having such a lovely year so far, me and Christine. Lots of things are happening to us, which are all very positive and all very pleasant. And I can't divulge what things are happening at the moment, but I couldn't be happier, and Christine couldn't be happier over what's happening to us of recent times. And that it's not just of what we've been given, that's because of things that's happening in our life. And we've not won the lottery or anything. It's not anything to do with money. It's more personal and private, and obviously it's all to the good, and we couldn't be happier, and it's all happening this year, and obviously we've got several things to look forward to this year as well. Our son's getting married this year, so that's lovely. That's going to be the biggest event this year, is our son getting married. And obviously, we couldn't be happier for them, which is brilliant news. And obviously, it's been a long time coming, because they've been dating for quite some years now, and the family, said I do together, which they did a couple of years ago, and the family settled on where they want to get married and everything else. And so obviously that's going to be a lovely family thing for us to be involved in. So, which is really rather good. And there's other things happening as well, which I'm proud to say, are happening to me and Chris at long last, because over the years we've not been dished out the best of things in life, and we've seen the downside of pretty much everything, through illness or accident or whatever, and so obviously, we're keeping our fingers crossed that everything's just going to go nice and swimmingly now for the rest of what's hopefully our lives, and what this community's done to me and Chris, supporting us with these Routemasters, is putting the icing on the cake for us. It really is. It's really nice, and it's something that me and Christine will never forget, because obviously, it wouldn't have happened really without you guys. So thank you. And that obviously that goes to whether it may be for the Spitfire as well. So, and rest assured that will be displayed with the buses. And the only modification we're going to do to it is when the diorama comes and the base, we're going to spread some grass, some model railway grass on the base to make it look as though it's a grass airfield that it's sat on. And that's because it goes back a long way with me. The Battle of Britain obviously is 80 years of age this year, and some of the first airfields with the Battle of Britain was grass airfields, and some of them lads and lasses never came back home, bless them, and this will be done in their memory, and obviously a little plaque will say so on our contribution on our Spitfire when it gets done, to those lads and lasses in the Battle of Britain 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you want to know, Dave? You and Christine are the most nicest people I've ever met.
Thank you ever so much for saying that, man.
And I hope when me and my wife Julie reach how many years married you and Christine have, we would be exactly the same.
You will be. You will be.
Yeah.
It's give and take. That's all it is. It's give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take and then I have to give.
Plenty forgive, dear. Plenty forgive. I know.
In Yorkshire, the saying to the wife is, "Yes, dear."
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Saviour.
It's never go to bed on an argument.
No, never, ever go to bed on an argument. I agree there.
How long have you been married now, Dave?
We've been together 31 years this year, and we've been married 27 years this year.
I'm 26 years this year. Been together about 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm 16 years this year.
Sweet 16, you Mark.
Yeah.
I wish. I was a lot thinner back then, and I could eat anything I wanted, and I was okay. To be 16 again, I'd love it.
That's a satisfied life, is that?
They'll be dancing on the ceiling now.
Dancing on the ceiling, yeah, maybe so. So we've got another comment which I'll just bring up before we go, and that is from the Yorkshire Crafter, and she says, "All you guys have such big hearts," and that is such a lovely comment, And
Yeah, exactly.
yes, we have. It does get us into trouble sometimes having a big heart, and you do regret it sometimes when you have a big heart. But having said that, I wouldn't have it any different.
No.
So with that, I'm going to close the show down, and I'm going to start by thanking the people in the chat. They've been lovely tonight. They've chatted about all sorts and everything.
Yeah.
Hope that everybody's enjoyed seeing our buses tonight, and join us back in April. I think it is April the 5th of April. I think it is. And look on the schedule that Chris puts in the Routemaster Facebook group for my next stream. So it'll be a month's time or thereabouts, April the 5th. And we'll do another one. And if you like, we'll show you how we've got on with the buses. And we'll have started the Spitfire then as well. So we'll show you updates on that and anything else that we may be working on. If you want to see anything else, pop it in the chat or the chat below after the show, and I'll try and show you something, whatever you want to see. As long as it's clean and green, of course. And I'll finish off by thanking my guests tonight, Dave Milne, Mark Smods, and Chris Davis and Adrian Langley. Thank you ever so much, and thank you all, guys, for your lovely kind words as well. Thank you. And
That's okay, Dave.
I'll say further to that, that life teaches us all sorts of things, and at the end of the day, sometimes I've been guilty of it, and no doubt everybody else has. If you can be anything, be kind. And obviously, I've pinched that from the good old Yorkshire Crafter there, because she's lovely with her sayings. So if you can do anything, be kind.
Yeah.
And I'll say good night, and I'll let everybody else on here say their good nights, and then we'll end the show. So thank you so much for watching. Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody. Fantastic show tonight.
Yeah, night all. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone.
Please like, share, and subscribe, and please follow my channel as well. Follow everyone else's channel, guys. Please share, like, subscribe to us all. Take care, all.
And I think you've said it all there. So good night, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye now.